one of you tells a story about your family's journey from wherever they came. And again, I keep saying, I think we're among the converted with the team that's here today. You wouldn't be here if you didn't care, every one of you. But we need to get more of that word out in the rest of our community and make sure that we're all ambassadors to newcomers. I said this story, Thomas just shared his. I'll share just a quick family story of ours that I've shared with at previous county gatherings. Simple story of immigrants in my family. My stepfather, who lives today in Fairview Park, came over as a young kid after experiencing war, Second World War in war-torn Europe. Came with his father, didn't know anybody, has successfully raised his family, his kids right out of Old Brooklyn actually here, and made a life of it because he got a chance. And he started, his first housing was in Cuyahoga Metropolitan Housing Authority public housing. Got that leg up, and then bought his house here in Old Brooklyn. But the story I actually like to tell is what he was first welcomed with. And that was a simple thing. He was a kid who got off of a boat literally in the New York harbor, got out on the dock, and the first person he met in this country gave him a stick of chewing gum. He didn't know what to do with it, but he finally chewed that gum. That was a welcoming gesture, right? Just give a kid a piece of gum. The other, my father-in-law and my stepfather speak regularly about their immigrant experience, but the other story I just quickly want to tell is the story of my father-in-law who came from Lebanon. Again, troubled times overseas, found his path here, found a way to get to school here, had a uncle, a minister, who sort of sponsored his trip here, but he found himself in, of all places, a man from Beirut finds himself in Chardon, Ohio. And the funny story he has is, what do you do with your first paycheck after your first job? You go out and get some groceries. And what do you do with a handful of groceries when you're trying to figure out how to get it home? Well, in Beirut, you call a cab. So the grocery attendant, he said, "Can you tell me where I can get a cab?" And the guy said, "You're not going to get a cab in Chardon, Ohio." But true story. Take my keys, bring your groceries back. We'll see you back here. He came back, and actually it was his friend who drove the car. His friend drove him home. He brought the car back, and the man who gave him the keys was his future brother-in-law. He introduced him to his sister, married here in America, and that's a story, right? That's how we welcome, whether it's a simple piece of chewing gum or a car to get home. It's who we are, and I think lest we forget, it's who we are. It's why we're doing what we're doing today. All of us, we each have our story, as Thomas shared his. We're here to welcome, and that's the point of this Welcoming Center.